In the GBA version, when you load up a file when saved in the Dark World, you have the choice of either starting from your save place like in the Light World, but you also have the option to start on the Pyramid. Reason being, because in the Super Nintendo version, if you saved anywhere in the Dark World, when you load your file, you will always respawn at the Pyramid, even if you're in a dungeon. You have 2 to 3 spawn points for the Light World, but in the Dark World, you only have the one, which is the Pyramid. So, starting at your save place is a godsend. Speaking of the god, we're in the land of the Triforce. We learned that in the last episode. Hi guys, welcome back. Scatlink here, and we're off for more of Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. And in the last episode, ironically enough, not only learning that the golden power is called the Triforce in this little shrine here, on our way to the dungeon, we only have access to pretty much a third of the Dark World. We went to the mouth of the river, gaining Quake. We went to the lake itself. In the Dark World, we were able to get a heart piece by transitioning into the Light World, and we upgraded some of our stuff there as well. Gained a few tips in order to actually get on with certain things, but now we are on our way to the first dungeon. And I realised that in last episode I didn't mention many enemy names. I guess I just don't think about it for the most part, and obviously, as I mentioned as well, some other names just don't come to me. But yeah, I do know the names of the mushroom flying enemies, I just never mentioned them because I kept getting, I was talking about other stuff. They're called Zeros. The easiest way, or Zeros, the only way that you can really remember it is if you go Zorro. And the jumping cabbage things that drop a lot of health, drop a lot of money, excuse me, that we'll be seeing throughout here, yeah, one of those. It's called a Ropper because it's got ropes on its noodle. It's got noodle arms, it's got noodle hair, it's noodle ropes, it's noodle, it's rope, it's Ropper. So, again, what does that name tell me about this enemy? Nothing. I mean, a rope, a snake, okay, I can see that. Keese, bat. The way you remember that name is that it's ridiculous, because it's like, okay, so if a bat is a keys, then what's a key? So yeah, we can't take a straightforward route to this place, although we can get pretty far. The main thing is that you gotta go through this big old block, and this is normally the bit that normally gets everybody, but the thing is that it's kind of easy to navigate, because you can see where you're going, and the dots pretty much tell you where you're going as well, so it's not that big of a problem.
Kiki, the monkey, yes, I have rupees more than anything. If you give me 10 rupees, what will you do?
Sure, I got plenty. This is what I saved my money for.
Good choice, I will come to you for a while.
Alright then, we suddenly have a monkey. I don't know if he's a human who transformed into a monkey and he just, like, loves things, but he's acting like a kid. Pro tip, don't get hit. I'm not joking. If you get hit, the monkey's going to flee. You'll have to go back into that big old block of hedges again in order to pick him up again, and he will request yet. You're clipping into the wall, mate. How'd you do that? Seam walking, cheeky bastard. Get out of it. But yeah, if he runs away, you'll have to go recruit him again, and he will ask for another 10 rupees. My lord, that was a big jump. Could you bugger off, please? Yeah, I'm going to use my boomerang. Oh, I killed him! Never mind then, I'll grab the 5 rupees you dropped. I can use that to pay off certain things that will happen. I could have used that last episode. I could have got my arrows, god damn it. Okay, we'll do that later.
Kiki, if you give me 100 rupees, I'll open the entrance for you. Kiki! What will you do?
We could try to open it ourselves, but it ain't gonna do nothing. He'll flee and we'll have to go fetch him again. So, I mean, why not ask him to do it? We got the money.
Kiki, good choice. I get 100 of your rupees. Yeah!
That's what we needed him for. He had to hit the monkey. And considering the statues here, I'm guessing they worship this place. See you later, buddy. Level 1! The Dark Palace. The Palace of Darkness. It's called that in most manuals and walkthroughs and websites. But yeah, this is the Dark Palace, our first Dark World dungeon. And the funny thing is, the first room looks kind of similar. The dungeon music has changed. And, oh, that's a mini Helmasaur. We'll take you, Helmasaur. I always say Helmaster. That ain't right. It's a Helmasaur. And that was a baby one, or a mini one. Push that. Most of the time you can push them. What does this do? Alongside that opens that door, fair enough. Let's go down the stairs. We got lots to do. We got loads of directions to go, and of course it's going to be confusing because we've got these teleportation tiles. If we access the map here, we can see that they pretty much effectively weird old entrance room, but we can actually cut through those three, as we've already seen. But we've also got teleportation pads here, so we might as well use them, see where we go. It's, since we're just in the dungeon, we just got to keep on going. Scatlink, can you hear me? It's me, Zelda. I'm locked in Total Rock on top of Death Mountain. I know you're doing your best, but please hurry. Oh my lord, Zelda can use these telepathy tiles. Well, she could normally talk to us directly, but I guess since she's imprisoned in the Dark World, these bloody things, she has to use Saraswara's telepathic tiles in order to reach us. So it could be Zelda or Sahasrara, and if they don't have, and if it doesn't actually announce who it is, it could be either one of them, because there's no voice acting, we don't know, so it gives me freedom. Oh, cracked floor. I probably don't want to do that, but we can bash this wall down. Yeah, so many of these hollow walls. You don't even need bombs. We got Gorias here. In this game, they don't shoot boomerangs. In fact, they mirror your movement. The green ones can be hit with your sword, the red ones cannot. If you stand like complete opposite and parallel to a red one, you'll shoot a fireball that you cannot block. Oh god, he really went there. So, best way is to shoot arrows to take him out. They tend to drop arrows anyway. So what we got to do is shoot and then make him walk into it, or try to bait him out. So we'll try to do this. Ouch, he was off screen. That didn't help. There we are. 2 arrows to kill them all. Kill the red ones, excuse me, not the green ones. But yeah, they always appear in this kind of formation for the most part. So we've got treadmills, or movement escalators, I guess, or accelerators. I don't know what you would call them. I know the ones for the slopes, because they're called trelevators. I guess that would be what it's called. These are baries. The blue ones spark, so do the red ones, but if you hit a red one, they split into 2 berries. The sword's not exactly recommended to take them out, but at the moment, that's really all we've got. We haven't used Quake yet, but we'll probably pop that off at some point. This may seem like a good room to use it, so I'll try it, but it's called Quake, and they're in the air, so it may not actually work. Nope, didn't work, although it did sound like it tried to affect something. So that's kind of a problem. Hollow. Get them away. Okay, so they're hollow. So let's put a bomb here. And let's just chuck a bomb over there, because I'm lazy. We can open this up where it's exploding. We got the map! That's going to be super helpful, because this dungeon is actually pretty big. Use it to see your current position and the rest of the dungeon. So let's go do that right now. And yeah, it is pretty big. There's only 2 floors, but they span quite a bit. Although we've done at least a quarter of the basement. Yeah, many big rooms. That's going to take a bit. Especially since it keeps winding around on itself. Yeah, in this game, the boomerang doesn't actually work on these things. That wasn't until Ocarina of Time. Then again, the boomerang could be metallic and not wooden, especially since it's the magical boomerang. I do not need to catch a fairy. Yep, you got a little fairy fountain here. Pretty easy to get to. Not entirely, but somewhat. Yep, even the pots can't kill these things without making them split. And I don't think the beam can hit the small ones as well. Yes, it can, actually. It's just very hard to hit them because it spins around and they're very small targets. Again, we can't do anything about these. We've seen these in the left side of Dark Death Mountain when we were back as a bunny rabbit before we went to the Tower of Hera. We've even seen stakes outside in both Kakariko Village and outside the cave that gave us a tip. And they're back already. That's actually something I haven't mentioned yet. If I get the map out quickly, notice that at least 4 rooms worth can be in a single sector, like where the cursor is. Like, the room with the fairy as well as the room we're in is in one sector, and it even shows you what it is on the floor below and above if you scroll up and down if I could. If I go into this room, that's in a separate quadrant, a separate sector. When you transition into a sector like this, on the grid at least, that's when all enemies respawn. So if I did actually go in, because as you saw when I went into the fairy fountain and came back out, these guys didn't respawn. And we can't actually do anything right now, we're at a bit of a dead end, but hey, we did get a key, as well as the map, so that's incredibly helpful. Let's get back to the beginning of the dungeon, because this is pretty much the only time I forcefully do it. You could walk all the way back and then take the walk back into the room that we started in, but there's not really much point. So, since that we've checked the map and it seems like we can go a little bit more forward, I want to go down the rest of these stairs. As I've said before, the map tells you pretty much everything that you would expect a compass to do. Okay, we can't push that one. But yeah, it's like the map tells you where the big chest is, once you've found the room for it at least. It shows you where the entrances and exits to the dungeon are, and it also shows you the stairs with little white dots. And all that the compass does is show you the location of the boss, which you're going to be going to anyway, so the compass is pointless. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. But hey, we've got another key, so that's helpful. We can't actually cut through here, because ironically this statue doesn't want to move. So where was that switch again? It was top left. Whack that switch. We could have popped off the mirror, be a little bit quicker, especially if we were speedrunning. But then again, if we were speedrunning, depending on the category, we probably wouldn't have been doing that anyway. Would have found other methods on getting around the dungeon. A couple of bombs, that's helpful. Oh, we got turtles. You know what? Nope, I wrote this down because I know I was going to forget the name of the enemy. I like this. It's called a terrapin. Yeah, I just checked my notes quickly. That's a terrapin. Again, don't know what the name... Well, I guess it's because that, you know, you whack pins with the hammer, perhaps. And, you know, most turtles in other Zelda games would normally be flipped over with a nice pound. Actually, can the quake affect these guys? I've never tried that. No, it can't. Really? That can't knock them over? We get this ability before this dungeon and it's useless. We can fall down here. There is floor. Why did I not do none? You must have been a red herring. Hello there. It was a trap! Let's leave. They're coming for me. Ouch. Get away from me! Ouch. This hurts. I could not get it onto the warp. And we're back in this room again. It seems to be coming full circle quite often. Thankfully we've got anti-fairies, so we can just sprinkle them in order to get our health back, so that's not a problem whatsoever. Push these faster by doing this. Makes the screen jitter quite a bit, but, you know, 60 frames, you can actually see that. So I apologise. But hey, we needed to do that. And that block actually fell down. So that was the block that we pushed, funnily enough. Ah, look, we've looped back on where we are. If we check the map again, you can see how we've looped around. The two stairways down there lead to those two rooms. The one on the left brings us to that little loop around, straight up that stairway to the room where we're next to on the ground floor. So yeah, all connects once again. That's new. Ledges that we actually have to jump down to the lowest level. And we've got 4 hard hats here. Can I use this on you guys? Please work. This is useless at the moment. Well, it hurt them and paralysed them. And I actually managed to kill those guys. That's 3 rupees for me. That didn't do much. You are probably close to being knocked out, though. So, another one. So yeah, we don't really have any good methods on taking out these enemies at the moment. Even on magic that we got beforehand just doesn't seem to help. I want to actually go down first. I just remembered. So let's go do that. Go and grab this quick before getting hit. Hooba! I knocked him down, I didn't kill him. God damn it, that was such a waste. I will do this though. Whack that switch for now. Push that one, make our way round. Oh well, I'll be able to show off something else with those hard hats in a bit. And we're back in this room again, we kind of looped around. What's the point of that? Well, we've got a cracked floor here, so maybe we can make it give way. Pop a bomb here. Since we can't really test it, we might as well try. We've got plenty of bombs to spare. There we go. We can drop down to the lower floor again. Land on this bit, which is why you have to be on this side of the room. You don't have to enter from the top, but it's how I normally do it. And we can use the key that we just got in this room to go up. And if you did see it, there was a chest up here when we were going on these across these 2 bridges. And that's the big key! So now we're able to go further into the dungeon. And we might be able to even open the big chest once we find it, because we haven't actually found it on the map yet. In fact, we haven't found the compass either, but as I said, the compass just points out the location of the boss, so what's the point? Nothing seems to do anything to these turtles, so... I mean, do you really need to know the name of them, Terrapin? Again, I know, pin, because, I mean, they stalk you, they probably pin you in. I mean, there's always some logic to most Zelda names, other than Keese. I still don't get that one. That'll probably be a Zelda mystery for years to come. But anyway, we would have had to drop down and warp anyway, so I'll be back in this room regardless. They can actually now chase me down, and yeah, I kind of screwed that up. That's fine, that is perfectly fine, because there was something that I wanted to show off if I came back around this way. So maybe I just railroaded myself. Get rid of you. And here's the thing. If we do a charge jump down here... Yep! We actually bounce on top of them, bouncing us back onto the platform we were already on. I saw Nintendo Capri Sun do this during one of his randomizers, or was it Pro Jared, one of the two, and I didn't realise you could do that, and that looked bloody fun, so... right, So what I'm gonna have to do is, yup. There we are! Gonna have to do that. So we can get past them, unless I wanted to do another lap around. I am supposed to do that, but not right now. So I kind of jumped the gun. But hey, I was able to do a different kind of jump instead. I'm going to bring this pot with me. Kill you in one hit, because your face plate doesn't mean nothing. I got round you, luckily enough, and we saw the big chest to our left. And since we have a key, we can go in here. It's another dark room. I mean, it is called the Dark Palace for a reason, so things probably will be turning off the lights in this certain situation. More, Kodongos, I do remember the name. Baby the Dongos, basically. Got some bombs. Might need them, as we saw, to get to the chest. I have to bomb some stuff. You. Everything seems good. I think we made our way to the bottom of the screen here. We've got another key to replace the one we just used. Yep, and there we are. No, wrong button. I pressed start and select at the same time. I'm using a GBA original, so can't blame me too much. Didn't take out that guy. Ow! I walked into my own explosion. God damn it. Let's grab this. Aha! There is a hammer. I don't know what's so magical about it, because it doesn't actually consume magic or do anything out of the ordinary. You can now drive wooden stakes down to the ground, and we'll be able to pretty much cause a quake with our hammer to nearby enemies, which quake doesn't do for the whole room. I don't get it. We've used all our magic on that quake in multiple rooms in this dungeon, and it's done buggering nothing. But yeah, it's called Quake. It shakes the ground. You would think that it would flip stuff around, but no. You would have to use the hammer to do it, as I will show you. Also, a GBA exclusive thing that the hammer can do, you can smash pots. That's it, really. Yep, we can flip these guys around, and even though you can use your sword to hurt them, because using the hammer game would flip them, hitting them with the hammer when they're already flipped over will one-shot them. It will take a couple of swings with the sword in order to actually kill them. So, it takes them out faster. It knocks them away anyway, so... There's the compass. Yeah, compasses don't seem to be very hard to obtain, do they? See? It literally just shows you the location of the boss. I'm going to keep pointing it out, because it's just such a useless item. I mean, like, even at least in Zelda 1, like when the dungeons were very similar, we've got Rupee Room here next to the boss room, ironically enough. But yeah, it's like, yeah, you get the compass, but the boss is right next to where the compass is located, so it's even more useless in this dungeon. It's literally right next to the boss. But yeah, the thing is, you can't actually get to it because the middle part here is sealed off. It's like a separate room in a way. 1 arrow! Thank you, game. Very helpful. That's more helpful. That's a key we need. So we'll grab all this money because we can use that for more upgrades, and I can actually get my arrows once I decide to go for another visit to the Pond of Happiness. But yeah, it's just... And at least in Zelda 1, when all the rooms were pretty much like the same and you didn't know where the boss was because there was no definitive end and it just snakes around itself with all the stairs, the compass was helpful for telling you the location of the dungeon, location of the boss. But in this case, then the bosses are normally going to be in a dead end, not surrounded by like other rooms, because of the more linearity of the dungeon and how more complex the rooms look. 5 rupees, makes sense. Get rid of these traps. We can just completely skip this entire room. I mean, we got, like, one thing to realise, actually, about, like, breakable floors here, as well as breakable walls. If the map, once you have it, actually says that there is a room there, or a passageway, that if there isn't, then you probably don't have to bomb anything. As well as, like, the bombable floor. It would take us down to the lower floor anyway, so there wouldn't be much use to bomb it. We would just land where the rupees were. But even so, not every single one of these can be bombed. This one can, but notice that the room down below is pitch black and there's stuff in the way. Yeah, if there's stuff in the way down below as well, like a statue or a little bit of a wall, the developers have actually programmed it so that certain holes will just not take you down to the next floor because you would probably hit something and be stuck in purgatory, so it's just treated as a, bottomless pit, like this one here, where there is literally no room below us. So, anyway, now we've got to do this room again, since we left this sector, the enemies have regenerated. They're all respawned. Ouch. Again, the red hard hats do a lot of damage. And I killed 2 of them and knocked the other 2 off. That's actually pretty cool. Like that. So yeah, if you've realised already, we're now kind of like more like 3/4 of the way through the dungeon, almost 2/3 of it at least. And we're only about 20 minutes into the video. Most of these dungeons are not even going to take too heavy. I don't actually think any of these dungeons are going to take multiple episodes to get through. So we've got a little bit of a restock there, and funnily enough, if we were up and above to get some fairies, we can actually whack those things into the ground with our hammer in order to, smack them through so we can get in. I forget, do I need to hit this? I'm going to say yes, because the colour of what it is the colour that is pushed down. Yes. Okay, I always forget. The colour is the one that's pushed down. So, yeah, I left the sector again, the pots respawned, but the items underneath didn't, which is a real jip. This switch is a pressure switch. We'll push this on top so we can get into the door, as you may have already noticed. There we are. More garayas, so we'll just do the usual shindiggery that we've already learnt how to do. A bait, and bait. There we are, all done. Restock our arrows, because we can. They drop arrows anyway. Oh, I forgot there was a switch here, so I wouldn't have had to hit the one earlier anyway. Oh, look! Gee. I wonder what the puzzle is in this room. You can clearly tell that that's a fake wall. I mean, come on. The edge of the wall dips in, but then the wall is just here, and there's also a seam here which shouldn't be there. But what do we do to hit it? Well, as we've already realised, with Igors, we shoot them with arrows to kill them. There's an Igor statue here, and it's off colour. Shoot it in the eye. Actually, the last time that we had a movable wall, there was an Igor in there as well. We just had to defeat him, because he was a red one and he required arrows. So, even though it wasn't the solution to the puzzle, we still had to take him out, and that required arrows. So, both times that these walls show up, both times we had to use arrows. Although, we had light torches with the thing. Alright, so now we're in the dark depths of the final rooms of the dungeon already. And, yeah, this looks fun. We can't use the bow, so let's use the hammer. There we go. Right, that didn't work in my favour exactly. But we sorted it out. We'll use the boomerang. There we are. Could have used a bomb, that's why it gives you some bombs as refills here, but because it is still possible to miss the boomerang if you didn't open that one chest in Hyrule Castle. So you could be without a boomerang, and therefore you would be even without the upgraded boomerang at this time. So your option would probably be arrows or bombs. So it's still solvable, it's just that you wouldn't have an unlimited quantity of a solution. Yeah, this room's filled with turtles at the flip pins. See, I can't remember the name. I'm not looking at my notes right now. You don't need to know. It's fine. Turn on the light so you can at least see where all these enemies are, because when they touch you, again, 3 hearts of damage, a bit ridiculous, but yeah, this place isn't here to play games. I forget if I like these. Yeah, we've got a classic Zelda puzzle here. I forget which one it is. Nope. Oh, right, I didn't actually push this one, did I? Wait, what? Which one is it? I remember being on the left side. Okay, I remember being on the left side, not the right side. Right, so let's do that then. So we can see what we're doing. Or not, because we're in a completely separate floor. In a completely different part of the dungeon. So, let's stand here so I can use it. There we are. Actually, I just realised the layering of the hammer is a little bit off there. Look, it's, if I do... Nope, not that. It's kind of clipping through my hat, even though it's on the floor. It should be in front of my... Like, it should be behind Link's sprite, not above. Is that a thing in the Super Nintendo as well? I'm pretty sure it ain't, but... But yeah, that's the dungeon. Actually, hang on a minute. I just had a thought. Come down here, you. Ha! Dang it. Okay, I'm going to have to wait for them to come back down here. If I can, even though I've got little magic remaining, I might be able to start with full health if I can nail a shot for one of these. Oh, it's like the bloody DVD logo bouncing around your screensaver. Get down here, please. Oh, this one's here. Okay, you know what? BAP! No! I don't have enough! Oh, I did it at the wrong time. That's okay. That's how it is. Let's just bash through the door. Let's go. This is the Helmasaur King. He's basically the big mother of the, or the big daddy, I should say, of the little ones that we've seen throughout the dungeon. Now, here's the thing. You would think that you could use the hammer, because you can, but you have to get up close and personal. And this thing, well, it's a boss. It's going to do a lot of damage. As you saw there, it did quite a bit. Yeah. His tail would also do about 2 hearts of damage, so just dodge him by doing that. But there is another way that you can fight him if you do not want to get close and personal. If you have bombs to spare, chuck some bombs at him or lay them around as mines around the floor. If it actually explodes on him, despite him walking all over the bomb, thank you, Bomberman 2, for deleting bombs when enemies walk over them. Yeah, bombs can take out his mask, and they actually do take it out a little bit faster. They just take a little bit longer to, you know, obviously go off. And there we are, it's off already. It would have probably taken me like 3 times the amount of hammer swings in order to do that. And I would have had to get close and personal as well in order to get hit. And yes, you can shoot his big gelatinous orb with arrows instead of getting up close and personal with a sword as well. So you have options. You don't need to whack him a good one. And getting spin attacks off him is probably not a good idea. So keeping your distance, because he moves faster and more erratically the weaker he gets. Also, if you just noticed there, I tried to shoot... Oh, well, poo. That's not a death. That's not a game over. It'll use a fairy. I was just about to pause and pop off a fairy, but... I was too busy talking about the boss. But yeah, and guess what? I bet you I'm going to shoot him once more. Okay, it might be 2 more. And he'll be dead. No, okay, I was actually quite far off. But yeah, as you may have noticed, if I try to fire the bow again while an arrow's already flying, I can't shoot another arrow. I'm not entirely too sure why there is a limit of only 1 arrow shot from Link per snipe. But there we are. I was actually a little bit further than I thought. But yeah, as you see, the damage output is quite the challenge. These guys don't mess around. But with that, guys, we have the first Maiden recovered. Rescued 1/7 of the way to fighting Aghanim once again. And we can talk to the Maiden as well. Weird how they're all girls. Scatlink, because of you, I've escaped from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. This world was once the Golden Land where the Triforce was hidden. But because Ganon, the leader of the thieves, wished it, this world was transformed. Ganon? It's not Aghanim? I'm guessing Aghanim's working for Ganon. They must be in cahoots. I'm sure he's intending to conquer even our light world even after building his palace. Building his power here. His hope is to use us maidens and the power of the sages that has passed on to us as the key to open a larger gate between the worlds near Hyrule Castle. Technically that's already happened, since if you walk through the yeah, it says that the gate is not completely open yet. There is still time. I was about to say, because if we actually do walk through the gates to get into the Hyrule Castle courtyard area to enter Hyrule Castle, which we cannot do because it's locked, you would actually warp into the Dark World. It's another Dark World portal, but it's incomplete. It's just opening. Together, we 7 maidens can break the barrier that protects Ganon's hiding place. I can tell you where the other girls are held. I believe you will destroy Ganon. Ganondorf's been busy, I see. Time to get that pork chop. I will return to my original form at that time. Do you understand? I do. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. So, we have 1 crystal. We have 1 maiden rescued. And we now have all the other maidens revealed to us. And yes, that island over there that we can't enter right now is one of them. And they're also numbered. That is your intended order, but you can go out of order to a certain extent if you know how to navigate. We will be doing this. But before we end off, there is one thing that I want to do before we wrap things up. So what I want to do is that I want to get out of this maze. In fact, it might be faster if I walk to the light world here, actually. So let's get to a good spot. Probably here. Am I good? Right on a soldier who immediately notices me. Well, that was just great, wasn't it? Yep. Oh, that's a thing as well, actually. Since we've entered the Dark World, which I never mentioned in the last episode, new enemies have spawned in certain areas, so more... How the hell did you see me? I wasn't even on the same part of the screen as you, on a different layer. Hello? Cheeky bastards. Different strength soldiers are lying around the place. They're all, like, patrolling the area. They're more stronger. Yep, this was a Dark World portal, and that's why we couldn't get in here until now. So that was that. I just thought I would cut out the entire maze by doing that. But yes, there are more enemies in the Light World as well now, and they are a little bit tougher. But then again, if the whole, you know, Light World still, ouch. Okay, it was 3, not 4. I was wrong. But yeah, it's if it was just filled with like green soldiers that would die one hit from the Master Sword, it wouldn't be much of a challenge, would it? So they increased it with more blues and more reds in order to eat more damage. This way to the bomb shop. We'll check that out in a second. I want to come down here right now just to show you that it pretty much is... I want that. Wait, why have I not got my boomerang on? I've still got the hammer. I'm still hammering people. Smashing people's toes in. There's nothing there. Wow, okay. So you respawned because I didn't grab the heart. Interesting. Another convenience store. Nice, I guess. These things are called pickets because they pick your items. That's another name I completely forgot to mention in the last episode. I did mention these guys. I was talking about how they worked, but I completely forgot to put the name in. And because it's like... because it's in the name. It is what they do. So... yeah, a bit of a weird derp out on my part on that one. I'm just calling out my own mistakes. But I knew the name of that enemy, unlike the other, like these freaking things, the Roppers. Now I'm actually going to remember that name. 100 rupees for 30 bombs. 30 bombs for just 100 rupees, please. Buy them, mister. Well, I don't need 30, so I'm not going to buy them for now. Thank you for the offer anyway, though, old chap. Ouchies. So yeah, our house in the Dark World is actually just a bomb shop. However, this is actually a good segue, because I'm quite low on health right now. I'm going to jump down this way. That tree's looking at me. And both of these trees are looking at me. We're going to bash down here, hop in here quickly, use our boomerang, and give me that fairy. In fact, I'm going to go catch one as well, because I accidentally died. But it's not a game over, and I'm pretty sure it ain't going to count, so... pretty sure, so... Quit bothering me! Watch what you're doing when you dash around! Oh, okay. That guy does not want to talk. I guess some people just became trees. Wow, I haven't seen an old person in a few hundred years. Let me talk to you for a while. 100 years? How long have you been here? Jesus! How did you get here, even? I heard that using bombs is the best way to defeat the one-eyed giants. That's all I know. So using bombs on Henoxes, their own weapon, effectively, kills them quick. Fitting. But yeah, none of this is what I actually want to do in order to get to where I want to be. Wow, I haven't seen a normal person in a few hundred years. Let me talk to you for a while. I once lived in Lost Woods until the day I wandered into a magical transporter. The power of the Dark World quickly turned me into this tree shape. Wait, how the hell did you get from the Lost Woods to here? This is like the opposite side of the map, effectively. That's quite a walk away. How'd you do that while being a tree? Are your roots actually legs? Can you walk around like a spindly Johnny? Yes, the two forests are connected with each other. I feel like that dialogue should have been elsewhere. I'm surprised they didn't fix that. Quit bothering. Watch where you're going when you dash around. Well, you come in pairs and one of you just don't like me. Why is everyone getting blown up by stuff that has nothing to do with me? Okay, so you know what? I think I'm actually going to end at this point because now I'm at 35 minutes. But hey, we were able to go a little bit further. And we're getting close to Dungeon 4, funnily enough, which actually... is my target. As I said, you don't have to do things in the order that the game gives you. It is recommended and it is intended, but some of the dungeons we can access out of order. Right now we have access to 2, 4, and 3, technically. So, with that, guys, I'll see you guys next time.